Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is Reagan, known as Southern Boy Prepper. Just got back from work and wanted to give you an update on the garden. But before we get to that, oh, a special thanks to Mr. Tom. Mr. Tom, you're a great man. Thank you for giving me the shout out, which I never would have expected. I know we've commented many times back and forth, but when I sat down and I watched that video, I was literally blown away. And we know how powerful you are because you sent a whole lot of subscribers to me. Not only you, Central Florida Prepper with Survival Living. I want to give both of you guys a great thanks from Southwest Louisiana for doing what you guys have done. I want to thank all the watchers that are taking a chance on me to subscribe and watch some of my videos. We're just simple here, simple family, and knowing what's on the horizon. We see the things that are happening in a day-to-day life, and this world is not really getting any better. I think everybody needs to pay attention to what's going on. Watch the news, do whatever you have to do to see that a lot of our meat packing plants are closing. And it's all about doing something to make sure that you have food for your family in the future. So, since we've been at the homestead, I've never made a garden here. And we've been at this location for probably, I would say, 6 years. And with all of the things, the current events and affairs that's happening, I had to get my stuff in gear to try to make food for my family, grow it myself. And what a beautiful day it is. It's beautiful to be able to look up at the sky and see no clouds. Absolutely amazing. The birds are chirping again. Weather's over. I did some repairs in the garden yesterday. I had quite a bit of things to do, so I couldn't, and I apologize, I couldn't get the camera and get all the stuff done because I was limited on my time before it got dark. So we did a few things in the garden. We staked up some plants. We made some little ditches to drain off some of this water. Didn't get it all, but just the way my land is, it's kind of hard. I didn't have enough time to dig deeper ditches, which I plan on doing it now. I should have done that before all of this weather come to us. So I took a lot of you guys comments to heart and your suggestions, and I've actually put a lot of them into effect in the garden to try to help my plants to grow. I had a lot of corn. The corn was probably about 6 inches tall, and I had a lot of corn that was laid over. I don't think the stems were broke, so I built up some dirt around them and got them standing straight again. Now the sun's out. Surprisingly, I think some of my tomato plants are looking a little better, so I figured we'd take a walk today and let me show you what's going on and what I did. And if you guys have any comments or anything or any suggestions, I'd appreciate it if you could post them. And again, thank you all guys for all of your support. It means a lot to me, and I hope you guys stick around as I get better with this video thing, which I'm not used to. I think I'll get better as time goes. So hang in there with us and let's go take a walk. That's my daughter washing the Jeep. Washing her sister's Jeep. Trying to get all the dirt off of it because gosh, it was filthy. So anyway, let's start with this. Let's start with the little garden here. So as you can see, I made a ditch to, and you can see the water really went down a lot. I think the sun's going to dry the rest of it up. But then I made a ditch and I just let it roll all the way out to the cement. And then whenever I cut that ditch, that water started coming out. And it rolled all the way down my cement. so it will keep some water out. I do know it works, so it looks a lot better. I kind of hold all of this, made me some pats for the water to go. I do have some standing water there. I didn't want to cut. I didn't know if I could cut in the row and still have enough, like somewhere in this area, to where it can run out to the yard this way. So I may do that. We're gonna see the tomato plants, and all of the plants are all standing. I have one plant in here in this garden that was laying in an angle, and that's that one. So I kind of staked that one up. All the others kind of, I didn't feel like they didn't bother them. So I'm hoping that I didn't lose any. I hope these things will make many vegetables. And then that's all my hot pepper plants that I had planted, and it didn't look like it affected those. I have different varieties of peppers that are planted, all hot peppers. And then at this point, then we have some seeds planted, and we'll go to the next garden. Okay, here's garden number 2. What I did is, when I came out here, I made me a little, when I started cutting that trench, the water started flowing, and then I made me the same type of channel that all of this water could come out, and all of this water did. It's still a little wet, but don't have as much water as in the small garden. As far as the things I had planted, my cucumbers are coming up, which is awesome. I was worried about anything I planted in here that was going to come up or not, but it looks like it didn't affect any of the plants. Guys, if you've seen the water we had here, it was crazy. I didn't put my pie tins up yet. I didn't have time, so I plan on doing that. This one looks well. No damage to these plants. I'm so excited that they're not dead, because I'm used to, you know, these little tomato plants, man, I've had so much problems with them. I do need to tie this one up a little bit more. You see how it's hanging? Let me get that one. I think I need to well, no, I'll leave it there for now. So this one's gotten way taller. So exciting to see that they're actually, hey, I may get some tomatoes. So we got that going, and these plants look well. I did plant some Rama tomatoes here. I don't see anything sprouting from them. It's probably one of those things that probably had to be planted indoors, but I don't see any sprouts coming out in the ground on those. I don't know what this is. It's not even in the middle of the row, but I have 2 of them, one there and one there. And this is where I planted the Rama tomatoes. Okay, so here's one. Another one came out the ground. I believe these are the easy peasy beans. And this is a row that I planted all seeds, and look at this. Look how big they're getting. And now we're starting to see others break ground. And some smaller ones. I have 1 pack of lima beans that I put out, and they're finally coming out. Look, here's one right here. It's getting its way out the ground. Good deal. Look at all of these. I wanted to show you, if I could find one, how it shows like the lima bean when it comes out the ground. I don't know if it's still here. I think this one has one. Look at this. So it comes out the ground, and then the lima bean splits into 2. And then the sprout is in the lima bean, and then it comes up and makes these leaves. I watched this from the beginning, and I thought that was really cool. So awesome. This is the first time I've seen this many of the plants coming out the ground on this garden. So the garden, I may have some areas that I'll need to retill. But I'm going to give it about another week to see what happens, because things are popping out in the ground now. I may see some more things come out in the ground. Okay, so this garden's probably 50 foot long. Yeah, it is, because I pulled a garden hose all the way. So it's a 50-foot garden hose, and it reached the entire length. So it's 50 foot long, and then I would say maybe 25 to 30 foot wide, and hoping for the best in this one. Let's go to the next one. Okra plants. I don't know how muddy it is in here. So I had to stake one plant for sure, because that one was kind of laid over. So I stuck a stake in that one. I'm going to come back and do this one, because that one looks leaning. Still have some stuff leaning. My onions are reaching for the sky. My radish yesterday was flat. I mean, the rain pounded them. So this is the first time I've seen them since then. Oh my gosh. Look at that, guys. They're almost all of them are standing tall. It didn't mess with them that much. So that's my radish. Okay. So these plants made it. I have a whole row of these. These are the cantaloupes. I've got them spaced apart every 8 foot. And here's another one. That one looks great. Here's another one. Now, as you can tell, the water's basically all, some areas still have, look at the footprints. That was us out here yesterday. Me and one of my daughters was out here trying to do what we could, and you can tell there's no shoes. Of course, she walked in this in her bare feet. Earth shoes, they call it. So I stood my, I hope I don't sink. Okay. So I stood the plants up and worked some dirt around them to get them straight. A lot of these plants were just laid over. Really laid over. So I did what I could yesterday. This row looks a whole lot better than this row of corn. So I'm not too sure what's going on. But you can see how the leaves are turning a little yellow. And they're not as tall. Well, I guess the other part of the row is not tall either, so I'm gonna give it some time to see what happens. The field peas, they're all getting really big, if you can tell my hand. So that's probably about 6 inches, I guess. And the whole row is full. And it didn't look like the rain affected that, but you still see all the standing water. I can't really do much right now with it. So it may get down. I'm hoping that we don't have any strong rains for a while. I hope this is over for a while. And then my okra, still taking a little time to get kicked off and going. So I'm hoping all of that gets moving in the right direction. I also staked the taller plants, as you can see. My jalapeno peppers. Yeah, it's almost time to pick a jalapeno pepper. Look how big this is. Look, there's another one on this plant. That's my heirloom. No, it's just jalapeno hot peppers. It doesn't say heirloom. So I have some heirloom in here. This is my hot cayenne pepper. So we're hoping that this one does good too. I see some flowers. Now, what I did with my cucumbers, I came out here also yesterday and I kind of put some string around some areas to tie them up to hold them to the fence. And I think I did all of them. If you can see, look at all the flowers. I don't know if we're gonna have cucumbers yet, but anyway. But that, I tied most of my cucumbers to where they'll stay to the fence, and then let them grab onto that fence so they can start climbing and vining like they're supposed to. I came in here with the tractor yesterday and I made a ditch, and it let some of this water out, but I need to get some more, because all of this halfway down the road was flooded. We had so much rain, but then I think what I did was reduce a lot of it. I think I'm gonna let the rest of the rain do what it's gotta, rainwater just get absorbed in the earth. And I'm gonna come in here with a middle buster and hook it to the tractor, and I'm gonna run me a ditch. I need to try to find my low spot of figure out where I need to put it to where once I make the ditch, and then come back and cut my row, cut into them, cut in a ditch from each row. I think that'll work. Anyway, so that's the garden number 3, and we can take a walk and see garden number 4, see what the water looks like. I didn't do anything with the water in that garden because I planted seeds, and I'm hoping that all of the seeds didn't get washed out. I did look at it yesterday, and I didn't see many. I maybe saw one seed. I think it was a corn, but that may be one of it could have been one that I just dropped, you know. So we'll see how that goes. So I want to let you know that I feel better today in seeing the garden. It's not all crunched down to the ground. The plants don't look dead. And now I just need them to grow. And anyway, let's go look at the cucumbers. Okay, so here's my totes. Like you see, I haven't moved them yet, but I will be. I had to put this fence cage on the top because the rabbits were doing the same thing. My rabbits, the cats, our cats that we have, were kind of getting in these and saying this is the best litter box that they've ever had. And so I didn't see them in the gardens yet. But anyway, I put this little fence, just threw it on there and strapped it on to where keep the cats out. And as you can see, I have potato plants growing. Some of them are coming up, so that's cool. So when they reach 4 inches, I'm gonna cover them with dirt, and then with compost that I have that I've already put in here. I'll cover them. We keep them watered. The top with the sun makes it look dry, but they're well watered. And I drill holes on the bottom of the totes. That way, you know, it can drain. And I put them on some cinder blocks to keep them off the ground so the hose don't get plugged up. So that's them. And I do plan on putting them over there, where I was sitting a few minutes ago. All right, so let's go walk to the back and see what garden number 4 is doing. This is the 4th garden that I put in, and I put it in just to have, you know, 2 is 1, 1 is none. Is kind of the concept I used, that if I don't get what I need in the first one, then if something happens and failure happens that my plants don't grow, I've got access to where I have more somewhere else. I didn't want to take the chance because I don't have much time we all don't have much time to take the chance and just grow one garden and not try it in other areas too. Because if it doesn't make, you've waited all that time, and if you need the food, you have to start all over, which I'm hoping that we don't have to do. I'm hoping everything goes well. So all the water basically drained out of this one. This was all full yesterday. If you can, let me see if I can show you. Look between the rows. I got some rows that still have water, but it's going to take a while for all this to dry. Then got to get all this grass out, right? So all of this is seeds planted: corn, okra, cantaloupe, crooked neck squash. So I didn't expect to see anything sprouting out the ground today yet. But these are the Honeydew Melons, and those don't look like they took any damage, but I need to pull some bottom leaves off and get that going. I've got some yellow leaves here, so I need to take those off so it's not losing all that energy that could be put in the plant, making it grow. So I'll have to break some of those off in a few minutes. Anyway, so that's that. And these are the zucchini squash that I planted as well. So I'm hoping that all works well. said a prayer, and I'm giving it to God to let them grow it. I do have some little small, I didn't want to throw them away, but they did have, I still need to plant. See what's in this little box right here. Still need to get that in the ground. I'm surprised it's still alive. But this is cantaloupe. I hope all of you guys are well, and I hope all of your friends, your family are well, and they're taking the precautions that they need to make sure that they're staying safe from this horrible thing that we're all faced with, as well as all the other stuff that's following it. If your freezer's full of meat and you don't think you have enough meat, get another freezer, fill that thing up, because we don't know what is going to happen with, we might not be eating meat if it keeps going the way it's going. And I'm really scared that I'm worried that a lot of people are going to starve. A lot of people are not taking mind to this. But guys, this is something that we've never in our lives seen before. And I've never seen us in this situation. I've never seen the president talking on the news channels about the crisis that we're facing with our food shortages. And you know, they're not going to want to say it's terribly, terribly bad, because they don't want this country to go into a panic more than what it already is. So I just suggest to be safe, because you're not losing anything. You're just gaining. You're gaining more food in your home that gives you preparations in case you need them. And hey, if you don't need it, you can always eat it, right? So y'all, this is the sprayer I got at, I think I bought this at Walmart. This is really cool. I've never had one that does all of this, and I've seen one of them on a video, and that's what I use to spray my plants. And I put it in like the shower mode, kind of like the plants are getting rain, you know. And if I need to water, that's what I water with. And we got a lot of crawfish mounds here. Crawfish are coming out the grounds everywhere. You can see their little holes, and they're pushing up the little dirt balls. But you see how close together they are? If we can coax them out and get a sack of them, we can ball them, right? I'm just joking. I don't think I'd want to eat them. But there is quite a bit of crawfish that's on this property. So I'll worry about if they're gonna mess with the garden any. Well, I guess we'll see. There's another one. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Yeah, I apologize for all of the long grass, but we gotta wait now before I can get it cut. I wanted to cut it with the 0 turn, but it looks like I'll be hooking up the bush hog to the tractor and cutting this long stuff, because it's getting out of hand. And we just had such a wet season that I couldn't get everything accomplished that I needed to. And I don't know if you remember, there used to be a building here. One of the other videos you might see it, but that's gone now. That was my daughter's building. They decided not to keep it. They started work in Midland, Texas, which is really far, and they never come home, so they were paying a $500 note for no reason at all. So they're actually they got it returned, so now I got to get all these blocks picked up. At least I got some free blocks out the deal. Anyway, let's see. Some pretty flowers. one of the different varieties of growth that separates my home from the road. And you know, that's one of the things I like, and I don't think I'll ever cut it down, because you can see it back there, but from the road you wouldn't see my house or know that there was a house here. So that goes like in an L shape. It starts there and it runs there. There is actually a fence in there somewhere, and then it runs all the way to where our aerobic system is, septic for the home. And then from that tree line there, it turns and it makes an L shape to the other side. So yeah, that's a lot of land lost, but I like the security of it, nobody being able to see my home. Nobody needs to see my home. Well, that's about it, guys. And I want to thank all of you for coming and viewing my channel. And I want all of you guys to stay safe. Until we talk again, always prepare for the unknown.